practice. Uh, yes. I hope all of you can read. I'll make the font little bit bigger so that all of you can read it. I hope now you can read it. Direction. Yes, question number 38. Question number 38 to 40. In each question, the word at the top of the table is used in 4 different ways. A to D. Choose the option in which the uses of the word is incorrect. The first word is FOR, for. Now there are 4 options, A, B, C, D. He has a great eye for detail. We are waiting for the day. I can't bear for her to be angry. If it couldn't be done forever. Now tell me where for
It
is not
couldn't be
used
done.
properly. Tell me where for is not used properly. कहाँ पर for का गलत इस्तेमाल हुआ है? He has a great eye for detail. It is
Sir, option
correct.
C.
Option C. I can't bear for her to be angry. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. I can't bear with her. Bear for is not right. I can't bear for is wrong. The correct answer is C only. Thank you. Very good. Next statement. Hand. I have my hand full. I cannot do it today. The minister visited the jail to see the breach at first hand. The situation is going out of hand. When the roof of my house was blown away, he was willing to lend me a hand. Which is
Sir,
incorrect?
option A.
Option A. I have my hand full. I cannot do it today. Seems to be right.
Sir,
Let
B.
us check. Which option in your opinion?
Sir, option A.
38, 39. Option A. "39" correct answer is option A. I have my hand full. I cannot do it today. This is incorrect use. The minister visited the jail to see the breach at first is correct. The situation is getting out of hand, correct. When the roof of my house was blown away, he was willing to lend me a hand, correct. So option A is incorrect. I have my hands full, or I have some work at my hand. This could have been better. Next sentence, near. I got there just after you left. A near miss. She and her near friend left early. The war led to a near doubling of oil price. They came near to tears seeing the plight of the victims. Which is incorrect use? Tell me. Should I repeat?
B.
Sir, D.
D option. They came near to tear. They came near to tears seeing the plight of the victims. Right? They came to tears. No need of near. Right. 40 is D in my opinion. Correct answer is 40B. 40B they have given answer. Let us see what is the answer. I got there just after you, a near miss, correct? She and her near friend left early. She and her close friend left early. Near friend is incorrect. B is incorrect. The war led to a near doubling, correct? Near doubling of oil prices. They came near to tears. They came near to tear. This is correct. The incorrect is B. She and her near friend. Instead of near friend, she and her close friends. Next section. Question number 57 to 60. Each of the following questions has a paragraph with one italicized italicized word that does not make sense. Choose the most appropriate replacement of that word from the options given below. Okay, let's see 57. Intelligent design derives from an early 19th century explanation of the natural world given by an English clergyman, William Paley. Paley was the popularizer of the famous watchmaker analogy. Proponents of intelligent design are Crupping. So Crupping is italicized. So instead of Crupping, you have to tell which is a better option. So proponents of intelligent designs are Crupping Paley's argument with a new gloss for molecular biology.
Sir, testing.
Testing. Better option should be resurrecting. C. You get it. You try to get the entire meaning of the paragraph. The paragraph's meaning is इंटेलिजेंट डिजाइन. ये एक इंटेलिजेंट डिजाइन एक कॉन्सेप्ट है जिसको किसने पॉपुलराइज कराया? विलियम पैले ने. विलियम पैले एनालॉजी का फेमस कोई पर्टिकुलर ऑथर था. अब आज के समय में इंटेलिजेंट डिजाइन के जो प्रोपोनेंट हैं, जो इसके ऊपर लिख रहे हैं, जो इसको पॉपुलराइज कराने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, वो पहले के आर्ग्यूमेंट को
Questioning, sir.
नए
Questioning.
मेथड से के साथ कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं. क्वेश्चनिंग. योर आंसर इज क्वेश्चनिंग. अनदर वर्ड इज सेइंग टेस्टिंग. अनदर वर्ड destroying is not possible. Options, in my opinion, the best option should be C's, resurrecting. Resurrecting means rebuilding. Resurrecting means rebuilding.
Okay, sir.
57. What is the answer? Let us check it out. 57 C. 57. The correct answer is C. Resurrecting means rebuilding. Questioning means destroying. Testing means again examining. While proponents of intelligent designs would like to rebuild the design, would like the Palais to remain popular, and therefore they will try to rebuild it. So resurrecting is the better option. Okay, 58. Try. Women squat, heads covered, beside huge piles of limp fodder and blunk oil lamps. So blunk has to be replaced. And just about all the cows in the 3 towns coverage upon this spot. Sinners, supplicants, and yes, even scallywags hand over a few coins for a crack at redemption and a handful of grass. Tell me which is the best
Sir, what
option.
is the meaning of effulgent and sputtering?
Which one? Which word? Which word is not clear? Can you speak?
Sir, effulgent.
Effulgent means radiant, shining. Effulgent means shining.
Answer sputtering.
Sputtering is again, just like a dim light, little bit shining, little bit shining.
Sir, option B.
B means bright. Sputtering, I'll check it out again on Google. Can we
Sir,
see?
what is the meaning of blunk?
Blunk. Blunk means not very shining. Blunk is opposite.
Sir, the
Meaning
sputtering.
of blunk.
Sir, sputtering will be the right
Meaning
answer.
of blunk is to ruin, mismanage, spoiled, mismanaged, and sputtering.
Sir, sputtering is the correct
Make a series
option.
of soft, explosive, splitting sounds. Deposit on surface made by. Okay. Sputtering is related to making sound. Oil lamps cannot make sounds. So here, best options are A, B, D. In between, you have to. Sputtering is making sound. Oil lamps cannot make sound. So seems to be right, not appropriate option.
So then,
Right. Try another one.
bright also can also be there.
Bright, something, oil lamp cannot be bright. They can be something else. Any other option that you want to try? Okay, anyway, let's check it out. What is the answer? This type of question is difficult to attempt because all the options are similar. 58C. Your answer is right. Sputtering is the answer. Sputtering. So sputtering is the right answer. Here, probably sputtering is not used in the sense of sound, but it is used here to, releasing little bit of light. So C is the right answer. Next, 59. It is clang, K-L-A-N-G, clang, to a sensitive traveler who walks through the great town when he sees the streets, the roads, and cabin doors crowded and beggars, mostly women, followed by 3, 4, or 6 children, all in rags, and importuning every passenger for alms. It is a clang, K-L-A-N-G, clang. What will be a better word for clang?
Disgusting.
Disgusting. It is disgusting to a
Disgusting.
sensitive. Yes, correct. Disgusting, distrusting, disgusting, irritating, amusing. Disgusting is best option. C is the best option. Let us see. 59. D, they have suggested. D, distressing.
Distressing.
Distressing. It is distressing to a sensitive traveler who walks through. Anyway, these kinds of questions are very difficult question because all the options are almost similar. Amusing cannot come. So, but other three options are similar: irritating, disgusting, distressing. So it is distressing to a sensitive traveler who walks through this great town when he sees the streets, the roads, and the cabin doors crowded with beggars, mostly women, followed by 3, 4, 6 children, all in rags and importuning every passenger for alms. So next, 60th question. Or there is the most me diplomatic note on record when Philip of Macedon wrote to the Spartans that if he came within their borders, he would leave not one stone of their city. They wrote back the one word, if. Now the Fingumi diplomatic, Fingumi, instead of that, what will come? Fingumi. What will come? Fingumi, it can be witty. Witty मतलब बहुत तीक्ष्ण बुद्धि का. It can be rude. Rude means you already know rude. Simple will not come. Answer cannot be C. Answer can be between A, D. A and D you have to decide. Terse means in
Sir,
short
I think witty. Witty is there.
witty. Okay. Let us see which will come. D is the option, right? Which is terse. Terse and witty are very similar words. Terse and witty are similar words, but witty is a short answer full of wisdom, while terse is also short answer but a little bit sarcastic in nature, little bit opposite kind of thing. So terse is better option. So it depends upon your vocabulary. If your vocabulary is strong, you are able to answer these questions.
Sir, witty means something comical remark.
Yes, witty means
That is the difference.
yes, meaning of
And
witty.
terse means sarcastic or blunt or abrupt remark.
Yes, meaning of witty is quick and inventive verbal humor kind of thing, while terse is abrupt, sparing the use of the words. In less words, you are giving reply, sarcastic reply, less words, terse. So these are selection of the right word is a difficult challenge always. Okay. Yes, now I'll take you to passage. Remember, in passages, it's always better to read the questions first. If you have read the questions, then it becomes easier for you to answer those, to look at the passage with greater care. So first we will look at the questions. What the question is. These are very difficult passages. Read them very carefully. That is, I mean, not difficult, but the only thing is if you don't have full concentration, you're not able to catch the answers. Look at the 4 questions. First question, according to the passage, Derrida believes that the system of binary opposition. Next question, according to passage, Derrida believes that reality can be constructed, something like that. So what is Derrida's thinking? That is the main point of question. Third, Derrida rejects the idea of infinite authority of the subject. And fourth
Sir,
question, to Derrida, logocentrism does not imply. Okay, now we read the passage. Now let us read the passage and thereafter we'll solve the questions. Then you can write down the answers and then we'll check the answers with the answer book. While complex in the extreme, Derrida's work has proven to be particularly influential approach to the analysis of the ways in which language structures our understanding of ourselves and the world. We inhabit an approach he termed deconstruction. In its simplest formulation, deconstruction can be taken to refer to a methodological strategy which seeks to uncover layers of hidden meaning in a text that have been denied or suppressed. The term text in this respect does not refer simply to a written form of communication. However, rather texts are something we all produce and reproduce constantly in our everyday social relations, be that spoken, written, or embedded in the construction of material artifacts. At the heart of Derrida's deconstructive approach is his critique of what he receives to be the totalitarian impulse of an enlightenment pursuit to being all that exists in the world under the domain of a representative language, a pursuit he refers to as logocentrism. You remember there was a question of logocentrism, so read it very carefully, you will get the answer. Logocentrism is the search of a rational language that is able to know and represent the world and all its aspects perfectly and accurately. Its totalitarian dimensions for Derrida at least lies primarily in its tendency to marginalize or dismiss all that does not nearly comply with its particular linguistic representations, a tendency that throughout history has all too frequently been manifested in the form of authoritarian institutions. Thus, logocentrism has, in its search for the truth of absolute representation, subsumed difference and oppressed that which it designates as alien or other. For Derrida, Western civilization has been built upon such a systematic assault on alien cultures and ways of life, typically in the name of reason and progress. In response to logocentrism, deconstruction posits the idea that the mechanisms by which the process of marginalization and the ordering of truth occurs is through establishing systems of binary opposition. Op- Oppositional linguistic dualism such as rational, irrational, culture, nature, good, bad are not, however, construed as equal partners as they are in, say, semiological structurism of Saussure. Rather, they exist for Derrida in a series of hierarchical relationships, with the first term normally occupying a superior position. Derrida defines the relationship between such oppositional terms used use the neologism difference. This refers to realization that in any statement oppositional terms differ from each other. For instance, the difference between rationality and irrationality is constructed through oppositional uses, and at the same time a hierarchical relationship is maintained by the difference of one term to other. In the positioning of the rationality over irrationality, for instance, it is this latter point that is perhaps the key to understanding Derrida's approach to deconstruction. For the fact that any given time one term must refer to the oppositional other means that the two terms are constantly in a state of interdependence. The presence of one is dependent upon the absence or absent present of the other. Such a case of good and evil, whereby to understand the nature of one, we must constantly relate it to the absent term in order to grasp its meaning. That is, to do good, we must understand that our act is not evil, for without that comparison, the term becomes meaningless. But simply deconstruction represents an attempt to demonstrate the absent presence of this oppositional other, to show that what we say or write in itself not expressive simply of what is present but also what is absent. Thus, deconstruction seeks to reveal the interdependent of apparently dichotomous terms and their meanings relative to their textual context, that is within the linguistic power relations, which structure dichotomous terms hierarchically. In Derrida's own words, a deconstructive reality reading must always aim at certain relationship unperceived by the writer between what he commands and what he does not command of the patterns of language that he uses. Attempts to make the not seen accessible to sight. Meaning then is never fixed or stable. Whenever the invention of the author of a text, for Derrida, language is a system of relations that are dynamic, in that all meanings we ascribe to the world are dependent not only at what we believe to be represent but also what is absent. Thus, any act of interpretation must refer not only to what the author of the text intends, but also to what is absent from his her intention. This insight leads once again Derrida's further rejection of the idea of the definitive authority of the intentional agent of subject. Thus, subject is decentered. It is conceived as an outcome of relations of difference. As author of its own biography, the subject thus becomes the ideological fiction of modernity and its logocentric philosophy, one that depends upon the formation of hierarchical dualism, which represents and deny the presence of the absent other. Now let's try 41. According to the passage, Derrida believes that the system of binary opposition, four options are represents a prioritization or hierarchy, reconciles contradictions and dualities, weakens the process of marginalization and ordering of truth, deconstructs reality. Which is the best option according to you? Try to give the answer. Difficult question, but because similar answers are there, but you have to try. Which answer you would like to give?
Sir, A.
Represents a prioritization or hierarchy. Yes, seems to be very good answer. Write down, please, 41A. We will check it at the end of all the questions. 41A, write down your answer. Seems to be quite logical answer. But in my opinion, A is good answer, but B seems to be better option because we have contradictions, dualities, and okay, next. According to the passage, Derrida believes that reality can be constructed only through the use of rational analysis. Language limits our construction of reality. A universal language will facilitate common understanding of reality. We need to uncover the hidden meaning in a system of relations expressed by language. Which is the best option? And we have to give it in the context of the passage that we have just read. Try.
Sir, D.
D is right answer. Perfectly right. Yes, this is the essence. This is the given in the passage already. This is the passage, the essence of the passage. We need to uncover the hidden meaning in the system of relations expressed by language. Seems to be the best answer. 43. Derrida rejects the idea of a definitive authority of a subject because interpretation of the text may not make the unseen visible. The meaning of the text is based on an binary opposites. The implicit power relationship is often ignored. Any act of interpretation must refer to what the author intends. Yes,
Sir, C. C.
the implicit power relationship is often ignored. Okay. Uh, in my opinion, better option should be A. Okay. Next, 44th. To Derrida, logocentrism does not imply totalitarian impulse, domain of representative language, interdependence of meanings of dichotomous terms, strategy that seeks to suppress hidden meanings in a text. So, which is the best answer? Logocentrism. In my opinion, logocentrism does not include interdependence of meanings of dichotomous terms because that we have already discussed in binary opposition. So binary opposition and logocentrism, these are two opposite things. So logocentrism does not include the option C, but it is a way of a totalitarian impulse. So in my opinion, the best answer seems to be C. Okay, now let's check it out. The answer. Remember, in these examinations, we have negative marking also. So if negative marking is there, if we give the correct answer, fine. If we don't give the answer, that's also fine. If we give wrong answer, then we get minus. So write down your answers A, B, C, D, whatever it is, 41, 42, 43, 44. For all these questions, write down your answers. Let's check out your answers at the end. Yes, for 41, the correct answer is A. Your answer is perfectly right. You had given A answer. Perfectly right. You got 42. The answer D is correct. And 43, C is correct. 44th, just check me again. I forgot 44. 44, 3. 44C, our answer is right. 43, they have given A. A is right answer. This is what we had taken out the answer. 44, 41 is A. Again, correct answer. 42 is D. Again, our answer. So in 41, 42, 43, 44, in all these cases, our answers have been validated by the answers given at the end of the question paper. So thank you all for participating in trying to attempt this paper. So this is an actual paper of Common Admission Test, CAT, 2005. This is actual paper of 2005 CAT paper. If all the questions that you attempt here, you are able to give correct answers, probably you can score as high as 99 or 100 percentile in the English section. So if you can check, this is one attempt for you. So you can check your progress and you can prepare yourself.
Okay, sir.
So dear students, have a very clear strategy. Very clear strategy. What do? You should regularly build your vocabulary by using words. If you don't use the words, you are not able to prepare your vocabulary. So continuously use the words. Try to keep reading difficult comprehensive passages so that your ability to understand, ability to interpret the passages becomes easier. You should keep on working hard. I'm sure through constant hard work, you will be able to achieve tremendous success in your career. Everything is easy, and definitely if you have willpower, you are able to put in required efforts, well, practice can make you succeed in everything. So keep working hard, keep trying. Whenever you get your time, devote yourself, read difficult comprehensions, try to get their meanings, and prepare vocabulary through practice. Whenever you encounter any difficult word, immediately consult the dictionary. That should be a habit, right? Don't wait. If you find any difficult word, immediately consult dictionary so that you don't face any problem. There is also what we call as origin of word. There are dictionaries which are containing the origin of words. Consult those dictionaries, right? That should be your approach. If you consult the dictionaries which gives the origin of the words, the ability to remember those words becomes easier. Okay, let's quickly try one more passage which we left out in the CAT question paper. This is the last thing that we are trying, and give your answers, right, wrong, don't worry, but that will enable you to see to what extent you can give the answer. We will attempt these questions. Which of the following best represent the key argument made by the author? Okay, so arguments of the author we will try to see. Then 46, what can be inferred about the author's view when he says, as Tommy Copper used to say, just like that? What, according to the author, has resulted in a widespread belief in the resilience of the modern capitalism? And by the expression Edward Summer, the author refers to a period in which there is. These are the questions. Remember the questions in your mind. Now you start reading the passage. So first you should read the questions, then you should come to the passage and read the passage very carefully. Passage second. Crinoline and Croquet are out. As yet, no political activities has thrown themselves in front of the royal horse on Derby Day. Even so, some historians can spot the parallels. It's a time of rapid technological change. It's a time when the dominance of the world's superpower is coming under threat. It's an epoch when prosperity masks underlying economic strain. And crucially, it is a time when policymakers are confident that all is for the best in the best of all possible worlds. Welcome to the Edward Summer of the second age of globalization. Spare a moment to take stock of what's happening in the past few months. Let's start with the oil prices, which has rocketed to more than $65 a barrel, more than double its level 18 months ago. The accepted wisdom is that we shouldn't worry our little heads about that because the incentives are there for business to build new production and refinery capacity, which will effortlessly bring demand and supply back into balance and bring crude price back to $25 a barrel. As Tommy Cropper used to say, just like that. Then there is the result of the French referendum on the European Constitution, seen as a thick-headed luddites railing vainly against the modern world. What the French needed to realize the argument went was that there was no alternative to the reforms that would make the country more flexible, more competitive, more dynamic. Just the sort of reforms that allowed Gate Gourmet to sack hundreds of its staff to Heathrow after the sort of ultimatum that used to be handed out by Victorian mill owners. An alternative way of looking at the French non is that our neighbors translate flexibility as you are fired. Finally, that is quaint at the United States. Just like Britain a century ago, a period of unquestioned superiority is drawing to a close. China is still a long way from matching America's wealth, but it is growing at a stupendous rate, and economic strength brings geopolitical clout. Already there is evidence of a new scramble for Africa as Washington and Beijing compete for oil stocks. Moreover, beneath the surface of the US economy, all is not well. Growth looks healthy enough, but the competition from China and elsewhere has meant that the world's biggest economy now imports far more than it exports. The US is living beyond its means, but in this time of studied complacency, a certain account deficit worth 6% of the gross domestic product is seen as sign of strength, not weakness. In this new Edward Summer, comfort is taken from the fact that the dearer oil has not had the savage inflationary consequences of 73-74, when a fourfold increase in the cost of crude brought an abrupt end to a post-war boom that had gone uninterrupted for a quarter of a century. True, the cost of living has been affected by a higher transport cost, but we are talking of inflation at 2.3% and not 27%. Yet the idea that higher oil prices are of little consequence is fanciful. If people are paying more to fill up their cars, it leaves them with less to spend on everything else. But there is a reluctance to consume less. In the 1970s, unions were strong and able to negotiate large compensatory pay deals that served to intensify inflationary pressure. In 2005, that avenue is pretty much closed off, but the abolition of all the controls on credit that exist in the 1970s means that households are invited to borrow more rather than consume less. That knock-on effects of higher oil prices are thus felt in different ways: through high level of indebtedness, in inflated asset prices, and in balance of payments deficits. There are those who point out rightly that modern industrial capitalism has proved mightily resilient these past 250 years, and that a sign of the enduring strength of the system that has been the way it apparently shrugged off everything: a stock market crash, 9/11, rising of oil prices that have been thrown at it in the half decade since the millennium. Even so, there are at least three reasons for concern. First, we have been here before. In terms of political economy, the first era of globalization mirrored our own. There was a belief in unfettered capital inflows, in free trade, and in the power of the market. It was a time of massive income inequality and unprecedented migration. Eventually, though, there was a backlash, manifested a struggle between free trade and protectionists, and in rising labor militancy. Second, the world is traditionally at its most fragile at times when the global balance of power is in flux. By the end of the 19th century, Britain's role as the hegemonic power was being challenged by the rise of the United States, Germany, and Japan, while the Ottoman and Habsburg empires were clearly in rapid decline. Looking ahead from 2005, it is clear that over the next 2 to 3 decades, both China and India will together account for half of the world's population will flex their muscles. Finally, there is the question of what rising oil prices tells us. The emergence of China and India means global demand for crude is likely to remain high at a time when experts say production is about to top out. If supply constraints start to bite, any declines in the prices are likely to be short-term cyclical affairs punctuating at long upward trend. Okay, now try to answer. 45th question. Which of the following best represents the key argument made by the author? The first, the rise in oil prices, the flux in the global balance of power, and historical precedent should make us question our belief that the global economic prosperity would continue. Second, the belief that the modern industrial capitalism is highly resilient and capable of overcoming shocks will be belied soon. Third, widespread prosperity leads to neglect of early signs of underlying economic weakness manifested in higher oil prices and a flux in the global balance of power. And last D, a crisis is imminent in the West given the growth of countries like India and China and the increase in the oil prices. Yes, tell me A, B, C, D, which is the best option? All four are similar and all four seems to be correct answer, but you have to tell me which is the best option. Any one of you? Yes, any one of you? No answers?
Sir, A.
A, yes, good answer. 46. What can be inferred about the author's view? He said, as Tommy Copper used to say, just like that. Industry has incentive to build new production and refining capacity, and therefore oil prices would reduce. There would be correction in the price level of oil once new production capacity is added. The decline in the oil price is likely to be short term in nature. It is not necessary that oil prices would go down to early levels. What is the best option? We have seen this passage
Sir,
coming in the paragraph. Yes. Yes.
sir, B.
B for Bombay. There would be correction in the price level of oil, new production capacity as added. Right?
Yes, sir.
B. Yes, seems to be very good. Correct answers. Let's see. Next, 47th. What, according to author, has resulted in a widespread belief in the resilience of modern capitalism? Growth in the economies of the Western countries despite shocks from increase in the level of indebtedness and asset prices. Second, B option is increase in the prosperity of the Western countries and China despite rising oil prices. C, continued growth of the Western economy despite rise in terrorism, increase in oil prices and other similar shocks. And D option, success of continued reforms aimed at making Western economies more dynamic, competitive, and efficient.
Sir, B.
Increase in the prosperity of Western countries and China despite rising oil prices. Okay, good option. So let's say 40. Okay, next 48. By the expression Edward Summer, the author refers to a period in which there is unparalleled luxury, opulence, sense of complacency among people because of all-round prosperity, culmination of all-round economic prosperity, and imminent danger lurking behind economic prosperity.
Sir, D.
D, imminent and okay. Let's now check the answer. 45 to 48. (45) C, 46 B. You had given B answer correct. C, 47 C, 48 B. CB, CB. (48) sense of complacency among people because of all-round prosperity. B. And 48 C, continued growth of Western economy despite sense of terrorism, an increase in oil prices and other similar shocks. And 46, you had given the B answer. That is the correct answer. Okay. (45) C, CB, CB. Okay. (45) C is the answer. Widespread prosperity leading to neglect of early signs of underlying economic weakness manifested in higher oil prices and a flux in global balance of power. (46) is B. There would be a correction in the price level of oil once new production capacity added. You had given the answer B. That's the correct answer. 47 is C. Continued growth of Western economy despite rise in terrorism, oil prices, and other similar shocks. And 48 again. B. Sense of complacency. Edward Summer means sense of complacency among people because all-round prosperity. So thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.